Treasure Man presents my top 25 metal detecting beach finds of this year. Oh yeah, my absolute best 25 beach finds of the year. But before I get started, here's a quick tip. Never get distracted while metal detecting at the beach. So sit back and relax, make yourself a hot coffee and grab yourself a couple of donuts because for the next hour you're about to see Treasure Man's most amazing finds ever. Are you ready? Roll that tape, Treasure Man. Number 1. Found a beautiful vintage find while metal detecting at Crandon Park Beach in South Florida. And so, on this awesome day, I decided to metal detect a specific part of Crandon Park Beach, which had many old hotels back in the 1980s and 1990s that they are not there anymore. And after about 20 minutes of metal detecting, I got a super cool hit on my metal detector. I was very excited because this part of the beach right here had hundreds of thousands of visitors back in the 1980s and 1990s. So I was feeling something with my hand that was actually pretty close to the surface. So over here is when I finally got it out. And there it was. At first, it kind of looked like a ring, but wait until you finally see it. Indeed, the top part was actually a ring, but it was also attached to a beautiful silver chain as well. And when I later examined this beautiful find at home, I found out that it was actually from the 1950s. So get ready now for another spectacular metal detecting find. So this beautiful find that you're about to see, I found it metal detecting at Virginia Beach in South Florida. Virginia Beach in South Florida was a nudist beach back in the 1980s, but not anymore. So my metal detector was telling me that there was something quite significant here and right on top of the surface. So now that I knew that it was exactly here, I went in for it. And when I saw this beauty in my hands, ooh la la. So here now comes number 3. This beautiful find that you're about to see happened on a Saturday and on the sand dunes in beautiful Crandon Park Beach. On that beautiful day, I was metal detecting the sands very close to the water, and since I couldn't find nothing significant, I decided to make a left turn into the sand dunes. And here's when I came across this unbelievable beach find. I'd still get chills just remembering it. My metal detector was giving me a non-ferrous hit, which was a possible gold find. And it was coming from this area over here. My metal detector was telling me that it was still here. And believe me, I wasn't planning of letting this one go. Because whenever you hear a non-ferrous sound on your metal detector, hey, it's a gold find. So then I looked and I finally saw it. Believe me when I say this, my heart was pumping so fast that I was about to faint. This was possibly one of my most beautiful beach finds ever. If you thought that that was a cool find, just wait until you see the next one, because here comes number 4. On a very beautiful but very hot Sunday afternoon, I detected something very unusual with my Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 metal detector. When I say unusual, it's because it was giving me a mixed signal on my metal detector, implying that it was likely a metal composed of mixed metals. In other words, this was possibly a super valuable find. And then I finally got it out. And then I looked and I saw something silver. Even though I was looking at it, my mind couldn't process what I had in my hand, because I had just found and uncovered a beautiful and magnificent silver bracelet with precious stones all around it. Is it possible to find something even better than the previous finds? Watch out, because here comes number 5. On this beautiful and magnificent day, I decided to go metal detecting at Crandon Park Beach in South Florida on a weekday, and I was very surprised to see that there were many people at the beach. So this is exactly what happened. I was metal detecting the sands when all of a sudden a beautiful lady approaches me and tells me, "Hey, search right here, because about a couple of hours ago I saw somebody searching for something about here, that they seem to have lost something very valuable." And so I took her word for it and didn't think about it twice, and started metal detecting in the precise location that she advised me to search. And within just a couple of minutes, I unearthed something just out of this world. A 24 karat gold-plated gold watch. And just when you thought that it just cannot get any better, here comes number 6. In a very cold morning in January of 2026, during the first couple of days of the year, I grabbed my Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 metal detector and headed to the beach, because I thought that since many people were at the beach during the last days of the year, it was very possible that they could have lost many valuables. Even though the temperature was in the low 50s in Miami, I stuck it through, and just within half an hour of search, I came across a truly fantastic metal detecting find. My hand started shaking when I saw what I'd had in my hand. But not only that, there was also something else in my hand. I just couldn't believe it. There was also a coin in my hand. And this is why this was one of the most unbelievable beach finds that I have ever found, because it was the first time in my life that I found a solid gold bracelet with an extremely old and very valuable coin from the 1940s. On a beautiful day, right before sunset and just before the beach was about to close, I came across a truly one-of-a-kind find, and here it is, number 7. And so, on this occasion, I was metal detecting at Crandon Park Beach in South Florida and decided to venture into an unknown part of the beach that I had never ever metal detected before. And so my metal detector detected something very odd, kind of deep beneath the surface. And so I continued digging, and then I noticed that this thing, whatever it was actually very deep beneath the sands, when all of a sudden I saw something white and round. But I still didn't know what it was. And so, of course, I immediately decided to take it out, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. It was indeed a white plastic cup, but it definitely had something heavy inside. And then I looked and I noticed that there were coins inside. So I decided to take everything out. And I was totally in shock of what I found inside. A mini hoard of ancient coins and a super old and beautiful silver cross. There's an old saying that goes like this: treasures are only for treasure hunters. And what I found here left me in a state of denial. On another incredibly cold day in Miami, with the temperature in the low 50s, I was metal detecting near this lifeguard's house when my metal detector produced a very strong sound. And this was a very powerful non-ferrous sound. And just in case that you are wondering what is a non-ferrous sound, well, A non-ferrous sound on a metal detector is an indicator that you possibly found gold. And so, even though my hands were freezing, I continued searching and searching because this find right here had all the potential to be an incredibly valuable find. And so get ready now, because I promise you that you're going to be shocked. You see, I really don't have any words to describe this magnificent find. What about jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, out of this world? You pick one. So get ready, because the following find that you're about to see is one of my most beautiful finds. Here's number 9. On this occasion, I decided to trek into the sand dunes in order to metal detect a couple of specific areas that I had never metal detected before. And when I started scanning these sand dunes over here, I immediately got a super sound on my metal detector. And so I wasted no time and started digging right away. And this is when I looked and I saw it. Oh my beautiful Lord, it still shocks me, even now, as I watch the video. This is why I am simply in love with metal detecting. So get ready, because the following find that you're about to see, it's going to totally rock you. I guarantee it. Here's number 10. On a beautiful Sunday afternoon, while metal detecting at Crandon Park Beach, I detected something very unusual coming from the sand dunes. It was sounding kind of odd, because my metal detector was telling me that it was not either a gold nor a silver find. And so I decided to continue digging anyways, because the sound that my metal detector was producing was indicating that there could possibly be something very large beneath the sands. So this is when I saw it right here. In all of my years of metal detecting, I had never ever seen such a thing. I had just found a treasure chest. And so I grabbed the chest and placed it to the side. And if you want to know the contents of the chest, please watch the video on my channel. And so now get ready for number 11. You're really going to love this one. I guarantee it. During a hot summer day at Crandon Park Beach in South Florida, just before I was about to call it a day and go home empty-handed, I came across a super beautiful and gorgeous metal detecting find. And right in the center of the sand dunes where many people walk by. And this is going to be one of the most beautiful finds that you have possibly ever seen. And so here now is number 12, one of the most amazing finds that I have ever found. This is actual proof that you actually never know what you can find metal detecting at the beach. And just wait until you see this beautiful and magnificent find. I really had to work hard in order to get this one, but at the end it was very well worth it. A solid gold rope chain with a solid gold number 10 attached to it. So get ready now for number 13. Found an unbelievable find inside Miami's old and abandoned zoo. On this occasion, I decided to enter Miami's old and abandoned zoo in order to metal detect where they used to keep the crocodiles. And wait until you see what I was able to find right here. You're going to be shocked. And within just 5 minutes of metal detecting search, my metal detector started going crazy. Wait until you see what was lying beneath these grasses over here. But then I heard a very weird sound coming from my left, and it totally freaked me out. But I continued detecting anyways, because the sound that was coming from here was totally awesome. So this is when I looked and I finally saw it. But I continued hearing a very strange sound coming from my left, and I decided to take a look. and I just couldn't believe what was lying behind my back. And so when I finally pulled the find off the grass, I was in total shock. Have a look at this magnificent find. In this beautiful sunset at Crandon Park Beach, nothing could have prepared me for what I was going to find right here. I was metal detecting in the sand dunes, and then I spotted an iguana's lair and decided to start metal detecting around it. And to my surprise, right here, my metal detector started going nuts, indicating a possible gold find. I just couldn't believe it. But I was having a pretty hard time locating it. My metal detector was telling me that it was coming from this direction over here. And so I continued digging and digging. So this was the precise moment when I first laid my eyes on it. So now tell me, isn't this the most beautiful thing that you have ever seen? So get ready now for another truly spectacular metal detecting find inside Miami's old and abandoned zoo. So here now is number 15. So I was metal detecting inside Miami's old and abandoned zoo, and this is when I located this very creepy and mysterious cave and decided to start metal detecting inside it. But I was having second thoughts whether to actually go in or not. And this is why. Then I looked inside and oh my lord, what a creepy place. Nah, it was just an old abandoned part of the zoo and not really a creepy cave. But right about here, I was able to find a spectacular metal detecting find that even when you see it, you're going to have a really hard time believing it. Right about here, I detected something out of this world. And so I finally got the courage and stepped inside the cave. And I was totally blown away by what I saw. And so I made my way into the cave and stretched out my hand, but I wasn't able to grab it. So this is when I completely went into the cave. And I just couldn't believe what I had in my hands. So then I took it out of the cave in order to have a much better look. Even though I didn't know it at that moment, I later confirmed that they were all coins from the 1930s and 1940s from the many people that visited this amazing zoo when it was opened. So get ready now to see one of my most amazing metal detecting beach finds ever. Here now is number 16. On this unforgettable day, I was getting ready to return back home since I spent the whole day searching and therefore couldn't find nothing of real value. So this is when I decided to metal detect this area over here. So this was when my metal detector produced a super interesting sound right about here. But it was coming from very deep beneath the sands. And so I continued and never gave up. So then I looked and I saw something very dark beneath the sands. I just couldn't believe what I was holding in my hands. Oh man, a really old wallet. I just couldn't believe it. Then I opened it up to see what was inside. It was actually very difficult to do since I was holding the phone with my left hand in order to record the action. And so I put my phone in a steady place in order to open the wallet. And you're going to be in shock when you actually see what was inside. On a very windy and rainy day at Cranton Park Beach, I uncovered one of my most amazing metal detecting beach finds ever. It was indeed one of the roughest days that I had ever metal detected. But it was very well worth it. Because very close to the shoreline, my metal detector detected something extraordinary. Perhaps the best find of my life? The weather was absolutely horrible, but I continued pressing on. So then I looked and I finally saw what was making the sound. I didn't know it at that moment, but I was holding in my hand my most valuable beach find ever. On this particular day, I decided to venture into the unknown into a desolate island in search of a legendary treasure. I had to cross this very old and spooky bridge while searching for a legendary treasure that has never ever been found here in Florida. It all sounds very beautiful, right? Well, the problem was that I got lost and couldn't find my way out and ended up extremely exhausted. But then I finally recuperated and started searching a specific area in which a possible legendary treasure may have been hiding. And suddenly I got extremely excited because my metal detector detected something very cool in this area over here. I wasn't sure where the sound was coming from, so I continued digging with the hopes of finding something really valuable. And so I felt something coming from over here. And then I looked and I finally saw it. A beautiful gold chain with a beautiful gold cross attached to it. Now the question was this find part of the legendary treasure? And so I finally found my way out of this spooky island, and most importantly, with a beautiful and magnificent beach find in my pocket. So get ready now for number 19, a truly beautiful find that I found in the pathways that led to the beach. And so I was passing my metal detector on top of these sands over here and got a terrific sound on my Bounty Hunter Tracker 4 metal detector. And I immediately knew that this was something special right here, because my metal detector was indicating me that there was a possible silver find right here. So then I looked, and there it was. Ooh la la, a beautiful silver watch. During a very hot summer day, I was searching these pathways over here, and this is when I found a spectacular beach find. Right off the bat, my metal detector was giving me a non-ferrous sound, which is a possible gold find. I was extremely excited, and it was coming from this direction over here. So this is when I finally got it out of the sands. Very recently, I was metal detecting these sand dunes over here at Crandon Park Beach and was able to locate a truly spectacular beach find. My metal detector was indicating me that there was a possible precious find right here. Oh my lord, I was able to find a super beautiful silver ring. But here's the most fascinating part of this magnificent find right here. When I took it home and analyzed this beautiful ring right here, it turned out to be a truly special vintage find from the 1930s. So get ready now, because the following find that you're about to see is going to really blow you away. A couple of weeks ago, I was metal detecting this part of the beach right here, which was very close to the sand dunes. And then I noticed that my metal detector was giving me a super clear signal, indicating that there was possibly something very valuable beneath the sands. And it was coming from this part of the sand right here. There were many people watching me as I was trying to find this beauty in the sands. And after about 3 or 4 minutes of searching, found it. Is it possible not to get excited whenever you find gold like this? During a Monday morning at Crandon Park Beach, I came across possibly one of my most spectacular metal detecting finds of my life. And just wait until you see what I was able to find right here. And so this was the first time when I laid my eyes on this beauty. A gorgeous wedding ring. Last year, as I was metal detecting the sands of Crandon Park Beach, I came across a spectacular and phenomenal metal detecting find. Oh my lord, a gold bracelet with precious stones. If you have enjoyed all of the previous finds up to here, get ready because I was saving the best for last. During the last months of 2025, I was metal detecting this part of the beach right here at Crandon Park Beach when my metal detector started producing a very unusual sound. It was very unusual because it was a very weird sound that I had never ever experienced with my metal detector before. It was producing a mixed signal but I just couldn't understand what type of sound my metal detector was producing. And so, believe it or not, it actually made me more intrigued in this find right here. And then after about 2 or 3 minutes of searching, I actually started seeing what was producing the weird sound. But then I noticed that as I started to pull the find out of the sands, it was actually stuck beneath the sand. And so I actually had to stop for a moment in order to think how I was going to be pulling this baby out of the sand. And so I tried many different ways, but it was still stuck underneath the sand. And it surely looked like a really cool find. This was a really long chain. So then I finally found the right way of pulling it out. And I was in total shock by what I saw. So when I later examined this super cool find right here, hey, it turned out to be a vintage find made in Italy in 1972. A very old and very beautiful 16-inch silver rope chain, baby.